G'day guys, welcome to Blind Garage first, I suppose you call it a podcast?
Yeah, well,
That's what I...
Yep.
We're just yarning cars, and I think that's what I might name this segment, yarning cars. Well, we're in the Caribbean, the Blind Dungeon. Got a super cheap wall behind us, so you know where I am. You always find me here. Well, we're going to talk about cars from the past today. Street machining cars, show cars, cars that, in my mind, the top 10 cars, in my mind, throughout the early years of my life, that changed my life and got me into cars.
and I think we should start out with the Pat Faye's FJ Holden Hearst, Jace.
Alrighty, Pat Faye's FJ Hearst. Now, can we flip the screen so they can see it?
Yep.
Alright, we'll try and bring up a image for you of it. This car is legendary. It got unveiled not last summer, that's the one just gone, the one before. They actually brought it out after many years of being hidden away because Pat died, may you rest in peace, you're a legend, Pat. Yeah, they pulled the car out after many years out of its hiding hole, and they put it on display at some nats, and then they rebuilt the car. And it was supposed to be displayed at some nats this year. I didn't hear whether it happened, I hope it did.
And as you can see, there's some pretty, mad art on the side of it, hey, Jace?
Yeah, the artwork on the car is spectacular. It's a great... I remember the car from when I had sight, guys, so... all these cars I've seen in person, touched, felt, through my dad and his mates and things like that, and the hot rod scene and a young bloke. And the murals on that car, spectacular. The eyes, the red eyes on the zombie and that on the side, wicked. Awesome car, but the craftsmanship, it had a chrome Jag rear end back in the 70s, you know. It was, what wasn't chrome was painted. It was just a beautiful car all around. The way he restored this, customised and restored this old hearse and turned it into something spectacular. That he did this car in the 70s, and that's near 50 years ago. And it's still around, they've just restored it. You know, that is one of the definite top 3 cars. That's the car that pretty much changed my life. I seen it at Stockland Shopping Centre in Sydney with my dad. I was about 8 years of age the first time, and it just stopped me in my tracks. You know, it was like, how insane is this?
Did you ever get the chance to sit in it, Jace?
No, I didn't.
Oh, that's a bummer.
But I got to touch it. I got in trouble for it. Never ever touch a show car. And if you're blind and you do, put on some rubber gloves and ask the owner first. That's what I do, so I can feel their car. And if you got your gloves on and they can tell you just pulled out a fresh glove, they're not gonna, you know, they'd be like, touch my car, please don't touch me, you know. So remember that, blindies. If you are blind and you want to touch someone's car to see the shape of it and the smoothness of a really good paint job compared to a crappy paint job, I'll pick it within 3 seconds of running my fingers along that car. I'll know whether it's a great paint job or whether it's crap.
Yeah, and I've seen him do it with my own eyes, people. It's like...
Orange juice. Always. Got to keep the fluid levels up or I get a croaky voice. Alright, so what are we going to talk about next? Pat Faye's car was an amazing car, and rest in peace, Pat.
How about we talk about the Peter Fitzpatrick FC Holden?
Now here's another car that's been around for a long time. It's been through several different incarnations, each one more amazing than the first. Peter's a legend, his son's a legend now too. He's built cars that have been grand champion and some of that. But to the best of my knowledge, Peter's FC Holden has won more swords at Summats for grand champion than any other car in the history of Australian street machining. They started out all white with the blue special paint scheme, and then he flipped the paint scheme over and looked even more cool. And then to knock everyone's socks off, he painted it this spectacular green metallic colour. I remember it, as I said, all these cars I've seen in sight. Spectacular car, awesome car. What do you think of that car?
It's pretty great. We'll insert a photo now, people. It's actually like it's a really nice green color actually. Like,
Yep, that's what I thought.
I wouldn't mind it for like a car, like my car actually. Like,
Yeah.
I could see myself driving in a green car like that.
It was a colour that at the time, Peter was always one to think it outside the box. A bit like me, rip it up, set it on fire and start again. And he did that every time he did this car, he did that. There was not one time he did that car, redone the car, customising it, where I wasn't impressed to the highest standard of his work. Great work, Peter. And your son's Datsun 1600, just as good a car. Made grand champion as well. Good work, boys. Alright, who's next?
Howard Astil, X8 Falcon, and it's called Rock Solid.
Rock Solid.
Yep.
If you were reading Street Machine in the 80s, Street Machine magazine, guys, where I was a Street Machine nut, I had every edition. You ask anyone that me, even to this day as a Blindman, I've got a refrigerator, a full-size refrigerator full of Street Machine magazines. So, love that magazine. And Howard Astil first turned up in a metallic, maroon metallic XA Falcon that was just detailed to the max. And then he went away. I think that was back in the actual Street Machine Nationals days, not the Sumnats. And he won awards there, and then he come back and he redone the car to Rock Solid 2, which I think was still maroon in that incarnation, but detailed to an even higher level. And then, like Peter, he decided to blow everyone's socks off. At the time, graphics were just starting to come in, and he painted the car light blue, and it had these really classy, subtle, not over-the-top graphics. It wasn't something that was just looked like it had been stuck on with a sticker. You could tell there was really a work of art, that car. A very nice car.
And by the looks of it, the original colour was a really nice red. Like,
real deep red.
Yeah.
Maroon.
It's
not quite a maroon, but yeah.
Yeah, it's very nice. I like it a lot.
Yeah, Ron, he actually built another car a few years ago. He finished it not long before I went blind. It was a red Mustang, and it built to a great standard as well. Legend, Ron. Another legend in my mind. Alright, who we got next?
We have Ron Barkley, Holden Ute.
Alright, this was a car that wasn't around for long, but when it turned up at the, I don't know if it was a Street Machine Nationals or some of that's back then, so memories are a little bit vague, it was a long time ago, but it just blew everybody's mind. The detail work, the aluminium machining that had gone into the car was just really stand out, and won at Summonats at top of the show, and because it was before Grand Champion, I think.
Yeah.
But the car was, just beautiful. The colour and pastel colours were he pretty much introduced it, the pastel colour, and he pulled it off in a way that the craftsmanship of the car, if you didn't even like the colour, and a lot of people didn't, you had to appreciate the quality of the workmanship in the machining and that he did on this old HQ Holden Ute.
It is, once again, I know I'm like sound like a broken record, but it is a very nice colour. Like, all these cars, all the people that have done it have very nice taste in their colour palette.
The variety of colour, like, everyone's got their own choice, just because someone goes, oh, I don't want that colour on that car, that's your problem. That person owns that car, and they pick that colour, they like it. End of the day, it's all about personal preference. We build these cars because we want to stand out, we want to be different. Not because we, if we didn't, we'd just drive Camrys. I hate Camrys. No offence, Toyota, you just build great 6-cylinder engines, crappy front-wheel drives. Right.
On to the next one?
Yeah, on to the next one. Enough bagging on Toyotas.
Righto. We have the Valiant War Wagon.
War 440.
Yeah, War 440.
Alright. Mark R. Blasters, War 440. It's another car that's been around for a lot of years and always been a hell fast car. Like, it was doing nines before most people were even thinking about it. It's been through many inceptions and that many engine combinations that I'm pretty sure Mark could have put half of Australia through college with the amount of money he spent on engines, gearboxes, diffs, and things like that over the years. Last time I seen the car was, as I said, just before I went blind, and he rebuilt it because at first it was white with a blue pacer stripe on the back, and it was always a wicked street car, and it just got faster and quicker. And tribute to him, he stuck to his guns, and he always run a Chrysler drivetrain. As much as everyone was bashing their heads against the wall, saying put a better auto in it, put a 9-inch in it. Nah, he stuck to his guns. You know, kept to the Chrysler gearbox, Chrysler diff, and he did it for ages. I think eventually he did give in, but he stuck to his guns for a long time, and he upset a lot of people along the way. I know one incident where a bloke threw his bonnet out of his shop. Take your car, bugger off. I've had enough of it. I can't handle this anymore. And that was a long time ago. Sorry, Mark, you remember, and you'll be embarrassed, but I do remember it, and I had a bit of a chuckle. But the car's fast, hell fast. The way he brought the modern technology into it when he rebuilt it, it had a water tank in the passenger seat for water to air intercooler, and it was just, and a big heavy car, and it always run the numbers. And where most people would have thrown in the towel and given up and gone to a smaller platform, which I think eventually he did, because the car, not because the car couldn't go any quicker or anything, it's an old body and you can only do so much with them before, especially a car of that status. So to crash it really bad, you could never replace it. So I think he built a Charger, but War 440, the original white and blue one, the one that I grew up around as a young bloke and in my young adult years, fast, hell fast.
Do you know what this car reminds me of, actually?
What's that?
It reminds me of Marge Simpson's car from The Simpsons. But I don't know, it's just very...
It's actually a two-door coupe.
Really?
If the photos are correct on this, I'm telling Trey the name of the person in the car, and in his case, I'm telling him what I know, and he's trying to locate the photos. So if the photos aren't right, please correct us and provide us with the correct image.
Yes, because we
That'd
have
be
been
awesome.
trying to search, and we are not sure if we have the correct
We use
one.
Google, and honestly, Google, you're cool, man. You help me out a lot. But because I've got to use voice recognition, sometimes you really got to listen to what someone's saying, because you get it wrong a lot. But anyway, let's carry on, because we don't want to flatten this phone. We're filming on my phone, and see how we go. Right, next
Okay,
victim.
the next one is Alan Cooper, Blowback,
Oh my god.
which is also a ute.
Also, there's a lot of utes in this. Sorry guys, not that I'm into utes particularly. I love me station wagons, but
Nah, secretly you love utes more.
well, I'm Australian. Nothing better than rooting in the back of the ute. Come on girls, don't be offended. You know you're all sitting there smirking and chuckling, a bit blushing a little. But yeah, a lot of the better cars that I've seen over the years have been utes, and that have stood out in my mind anyway. But Blowback, Alan Cooper, is that his name?
Alan Cooper.
Yeah, Alan Cooper. When it first came out, it was silver, and he put two engines in it. He had I think it was a 253 in the front, and he had a supercharged 350 Chevy in the tray. And it was just like, for its time, what the hell? Sorry guys, but that's the only way you could describe this car. And then
I
he...
agree.
Oh,
I
you
agree.
agree? And then he, as many of our Australian street machiners do, he pulled it off the road and went, I can do better. I can go crazier. So he souped up both engines, he painted it black and blue, and I think he put moon discs on it instead of the center lines it used to have, and it was just cool as. stood out in my mind and was just, alright, the engineering to put a V8 in the tray of a Holden Ute. Okay, you can't chuck a mattress in or turn it into a swimming pool, but you've got to admit, that's pretty neat.
It is, eh?
So, yeah, Alan Cooper, I don't know whatever happened to any... A lot of these cars, I don't know what happened to them, and if I do, I will mention it, but with Pat Fay's car, I know that definitely got restored. The rest of them, I'm unsure. If anyone knows, once again, reach out, let us know. We'd love to know where they are and how they're going. So, right.
Next we have Ron Harrop 55 Chevy.
Oh, another absolute maniac car. You can tell I'm crazy by the cars I've picked. But who in their right mind goes and gets a 55 Chev and then shoehorns, I think it's a Spitfire aeroplane engine into it? Ron does. Cheers, mate. I love it. Castle Main Rod Shop, I think, is what the business he runs. And he's been building crazy creations. Like, I remember years ago, he had a T-bucket with twin superchargers on it. I'm pretty sure it's that dude, guys. As I said, I've got a sketchy memory, and this is, going to take a bit out of me doing all this, but I'm,
You're doing pretty good.
I want to talk about these great men in Australian street machining history. And Ron was definitely, like, he now makes parts for V8 supercars, I think this is the best manifolds. Like, Ron, if you're out there and you do actually ever see this, I'd love to have some of your parts on my car and build something insane with you, because you've always been the king of insanity in Australia, and your 55 Chevy proves it. The paint job on it, I remember, was like a blue and silver with rivets all over it, and it looked like a plane. You know, if you're going to shoehorn an aeroplane engine into a car, you couldn't have done it without this paint job. It just made it, you know. And the engineering and the ingenious that went into it was just spectacular, you know. It just, when it come out, and to look at it, it just looked like a 55 Chevy drag car. But when he opened the bonnet, I think he took the whole front clip off it, actually, to work on it. And you seen this engine that went, you know, not only from basically the headlights all the way past where the normal transmission tunnel and beyond. You're like, man, doing the rear plugs in, that's going to be a killer. But 3,500 horsepower, I think it made, supercharged Spitfire, I think it was. But outstanding car, and Ron is one of the people that shaped street machining in Australia and can be thanked for the high performance goodies we do enjoy today. Thank you, Ron. Legend, mate. Alright, next one, because he'll think I'm groveling and he'll think this guy's a crazy boy man. I'm not a crazy boy man. I'm highly emotional.
Next is the Alan Fleming HG panel van called the Motivator.
Alan Fleming's. I'm not sure if it was HG, HT or HK, but it was a panel van. Motivator, it was called. A lot of people will remember it. It was on the back cover of Street Machine magazine with the most insane paint job. I think it went from blue to red to white with stars, and it was just sick. This guy, he again, insanity, maniac. Got a panel van, thought I want to be able to put my family in it, so I'm pretty sure it was a 5-seater. Yeah. And it had the window in it, so people could see out. And he put a Commodore front end on it, and it was just wild, you know, real innovative, well engineered. When he first brought it out, it was just pure white. It was just the simplest, like very simple. The Commodore front end with the early H-series panel van body just went together so well. It was just stand out. Another car similar to that was a Holden station wagon. I can't remember who built it, but it was one at some Mats. It actually tied in Street Machine of the Year. I'm pretty sure it was the Sony X-Plod wagon van. It was a sedan delivery style VP Commodore. Pretty sure it had suicide doors. It was peach and white with Sony X-Spot up the side graphics, and
Yeah.
very standout, nice, just really cool car.
Yeah.
But Motivator was really just very different, very cool. When it got the paint job around, when it was on the back of Street Machine magazine with the graphics and all that, and the multi-coloured paint job, it really I was like, that is a wicked car.
Yeah.
So, yeah. I'm pretty sure the car is still probably floating around. I did hear about it several years ago. If you go to Street Machine, look to Street Machine. If you got a problem with this, me calling you out in your stuff, I can't read your copyright. So, same as the music playing in the background, if any artists are offended by it, I pay for this music by Spotify. I pay $11.95. It's my private playlist. If I choose to play it, I think I'm entitled, and you guys should be proud that I choose to play your music, because I could be playing Mariah Carey. Yeah, anyway, back to the cars.
Anyways, the next one is the Holden Utopia, and it is red.
Utopia. I'm pretty sure it was based off a Commodore Ute, and it had a Sylvia front end and bits and pieces from everywhere. Big wing on the back. Sorry, fan. This is my #1 fan. It's that much of a fan. It hasn't left in months. Oh, I don't know what to do. But yeah, back to Utopia. Utopia is just as crazy as that statement. It come from nowhere, and it just, boom, it was so low, it was so wide, with the front end the way it was designed, it looked so fat, the big wing, you could have seen this, I could imagine it racing around Daytona, and I'm pretty sure it had a really unusual engine combination. I can't remember for the life of me what it was at this point in time, but it was an unusual engine in it, and it was just one of them cars, wicked, insane, well engineered, totally custom. I'm into custom cars, like the entire hot rodding Street Machine scene was built around customizing cars. Barris, Von Dutch, there's so many wicked customizers, and it's evolved to what we have today. Nothing's changed since them days, except the fact we have online convenience, the fact there's so many shops now that'll do it for us, where we don't have to do it ourselves. Everything's so convenient now. Anyone can build a nice car, and we're all so individual in our thinking these days, because, well, I hope so, because I don't want to be a sheep, and I hope you just don't want to be. But I don't want to drive a Camry. I don't want our cars to be the same cars. I like talking to people about their cars and hearing I got this part from this car and I put it on here, and okay, it mightn't work for you when you're looking at it, but it worked for them. And if you look at some of the hot rodders back in the past, they did the craziest things, out of using parts of the most weirdest cars you'd never expect. So, yeah, so Utopia was one of them cars, and it really stood out in my mind. So, right out, the next one.
Anyways, we're on the last one now.
Last one, okay.
So, and it is, one sec, Lenny Moore's Ford T-Bucket.
Okay, guys, I'm going to get sentimental with this one, because I have had personal experiences over my entire lifetime with the car and Lenny. Amanda Moore, if you ever get to watch this, we have tried to find a photo of your dad's car. We're hoping it's the right one. I don't think it is. If you have any photos of your dad's car, we'd love to sit down with you even and talk about your dad and his cars. Like his T-Bucket was just his, to me, his coup de grace. You couldn't get the Holy Grail. It was Australia's fastest hot rod for a long time in Australia, and it had a supercharged 327 Chev, chrome everywhere, light green with slightly darker green flames, with I think a slight silver like edging, big massive fat tyres, Jag chrome rear end, and an interior. A T-Bucket doesn't really have an interior. It had a seat, it had a steering wheel, it had a shifter, and pretty sure it had a couple of gauges. But it had the windscreen. It was a T-Bucket in the essence of what a T-Bucket should be. The chrome everywhere, the supercharger, and it was fast. I remember one morning I was probably around 6 or 7, and Lenny just got it running again. He must have done something to the engine or something, or blown something up, and he fixed it up. And he pulled up out the front of Dad's to show Dad. He turned around and he's like, "Jump in, boy." And I jumped in this green fiberglass bucket with a steering wheel and a windscreen and these massive tyres and this big engine. And you got to remember, I was 7 and I'm not a big dude now, so you can imagine back then I was like, I hope you can see that. I was tiny. Toby, settle down. It's all good. And he fires this thing up, he drops it into gear, the whole car pretty much lurches off the spot and jumps. And I'm like, wow. And then he pulls out, and he gets it straight, and he hit the throttle. I swear the car done a wheel stand. It probably didn't, but it felt like it to me. And I got pushed into my seat that hard. My life changed forever. Not only was I was already addicted to cars. From that moment forward, I was addicted to speed. I was addicted to quarter-mile racing. And yeah, Lenny, he owned the Trans Ams, Mustangs. His work ute back in the 90s. It was on the cover of Performance Car magazine.
Yeah.
Back in the 90s, and I'm pretty sure it had a whole heap of V8 engines in the back of it, and it was blue XD ute with an LTD front end and a supercharged 351, and he's doing this massive burnout, and he's got all these engines in the tray.
Yeah.
And that was his work car. So you can imagine how fast this T-Bucket was if his work ute was a supercharged LTD front end XD ute. And this was, I'm talking 1981, I just started high school, so it would have been 87, 88, I'll say. And, but Lenny always had crazy cars, an old 49 Ford Sloper. That was my caravan door slamming closed, sorry about that. I hope the camera rocks, so he's got the full effect. He jumped more than I did. Bet you $10. But Lenny was dead set. Anyone who lived in the western suburbs, especially around Fairfield, Maryland, Eugene, Canley Vale, Cabramatta, anywhere from Liverpool to Parramatta to Penrith, you knew Lenny, Ford Master Wreck, and his fast cars. But his T-Bucket, you know, it wasn't the cleanest, most well-detailed, engineered, but it was the fastest, most exhilarating. It changed my life, and it's #1 on the Blind Garage, Blindman Burnouts as top 10 memorable cars of my youth. You gotta remember, most of these cars are 90s cars, you know. And I can't help that because that was my era, you know. We grew up in a time where it was V8 Commodores and Tiranas and Falcons, XDs, and, you know, the Fords didn't get much of a look in my book because I'm a V8 man, and look at me now, I own nothing but Fords, eh? You know why I own Fords? Because I couldn't beat up on my Holden at night. Sorry, I'll start that again. The reason I drive Fords, yet I love to own Holdens, is I couldn't sleep at night if I beat up on my Holden like I do my Fords. I can bash the snot out of a Ford all day long and leave it in the paddock, steam pouring out. You can see my videos. My Tickford Fairlane Sportsman, I leave it in the paddock after doing donuts for Australia Day with steam pouring out of it, power steering belt's gone. Nah, it's a Ford, it'll survive. If it doesn't, it's a Ford. But if I had a Statesman and I took that in the paddock and I beat it up like that, I couldn't sleep at night. I'd be shattered. I really would. But If you really want to know, my favourite car of all time, my favourite make, is Chrysler. Chrysler Corporation. I don't care if it's a Dodge, Plymouth, DeSoto, Valiant. Even as far as I'll go to say Galant. Remember the Chrysler Galant, guys? And the Chrysler Sigma? Oh, they were horrible cars of the day, but if you can get one now, you're sitting on a landmine because they all rusted away or got crushed, and if you've got a really slick one,
yeah,
you'll turn people's heads now. You know, that's the thing, like these days, to a car enthusiast like me, to get a GTS Monaro or an A9X Tirana or a GTHO, that's unobtainable. It's never going to happen, you know. They're pulling $1 million now, you know. Even a piece of crap's 100 grand. Whereas, if you were to find yourself a Sigma, old Corona, a Galant, something obscure, something that people hated in the day, and you can find a good one, clean it up, leave the patina and that on it, you are going to, from someone like me, you're going to get more street cred than someone who's driving around in a pimped up little buzz box. You know, spoilers and wings are all cool if you're into rice bubbles. But I'm Australian, man. Only milk and juice come in 2 litres. Sorry guys, there's some really stout 2 litre and V6 engines out there, but for me personally, give me a V8, and if it's going to be a V8 and it's going to be a preferred manufacturer, Mopar or no car. You know, you hear the sayings, you want to rev it, chev it? Yeah, 350s are awesome, man. Love me 350 Chev motors, especially if we can get an 0101 block.
Yeah.
They're 4-bolt mains, put superchargers on, get good cranking rods and pistons. Yeah, rev them the fucking $7 grand all day long, and yeah, you're gonna have to rebuild it. Maybe we'll blow up eventually, but they'll handle it, you know. But for me, that's my top 10, guys. But
I think we might wrap it up now, yeah, Joe.
should we wrap it up? Yep. Yeah. Alright guys, well, don't forget to like and subscribe to the channel, Blind Garage. Like our Facebook page, Blindman Burnouts. Share us around, and we'll do more discussions later on about my favourite things and cars and race tracks and
what's like past experience, like
past experiences.
Stories.
Wait till we get to some of my stories about
story time.
This is our first podcast signing out. Podcast.
Yep.
Lounge chat. Car yarn.
Yeah.
I hope you enjoyed, and cheers for tuning in. Catch you next time. Keep your tyres turned.
So at the same time.
Mad, awesome. Cheers, guys.